Hello everybody and welcome to the showcase match for the DelotA Dota 2 Amateur Tournament. This is for the January tournament. It is Team Infused versus IMBA Battlenet. IMBA Battlenet winning our tournament and therefore going up against Team Infused. We are just waiting for one more to join, as you can probably see. But yeah, I am Just Delicious and I am here with my co-caster, as always, Vague Raconteur.
Hello, and yes, today we have our showcase game, the incredible IMBA Battlenet versus the very well-known and very infamous Team Infused. Now, of course, we have had that Team Infused have some problems recently, but clearly they're all over it. They're ready to play today. They're looking forward to this, and IMBA Battlenet should be a huge challenge for them.
Yeah, IMBA Battlenet have really shown that they are a team to look out for. They've played really well, pretty much every game that we've seen them. They had a little bit of a blip once, but that wasn't really anything too major. So yeah, IMBA Battlenet really playing very well recently, especially in their last game. They absolutely dominated that last game that they played, and almost perfect practice to come up against the professional team, Team Infused.
Well, they every single time we see them, they do something that's so incredible it just kind of blows you out of the water. They take the meta and they work out very cleverly. They're very great on theory crafting. They see what people are playing, and they just counterpick a hero that nobody ever seems to play that often in professional games that just destroys the match. So we've seen them come against teams relative to their level. I think they're feeling pretty confident that they can do this. They feel a little bit nervous, obviously, because this is a big match. A lot of people are hopefully going to be watching, and hello to everyone who is. Fantastic that you're here. We cannot wait to see how this match is going to start.
Yeah, it should go well, to say the least. But I'm really wondering about what IMBA are going to do about their style, because they normally do play this kind of the one or two odd picks crop up every now and again. But now that they're against a professional team, a team that is well known and actually established, are they are they going to do that, or are they just going to try and stick to the meta and not try anything fancy? Because if they try something fancy, Team Infused are going to know what to do against it, where other teams might not. So it's going to be interesting to see what they actually decide to do about that.
Well, JD, I'm going to call out and say right now, IMBA Battlenet are going to stick to their normal crazy style. They're going to get about three or four, maybe even four heroes that are straight to the meta, but there will always be at least one pick that's a little bit crazy, or at least a little bit interesting, not quite that normal. And they tend to use that extremely to their advantage. We've seen RR using a clockwork against a bounty hunter and completely destroying the match.
Yeah, that was really impressive play, and they normally do make the odd pick for their off lane. So it's normally the off lane hero. It's normally RR who actually handles the odd picks that the IMBA Battlenet choose when they do choose them. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I think the reason RR actually does play those odd roles so often is because it's really the off lane is the only lane that you can really work with at the moment, and a lot of the other lanes are kind of set in stone what you kind of need. I mean, there are only a handful of good mid heroes at the moment, and all the other heroes just aren't that good in mid. And same with the tri lane, you kind of need that perfect balance in the tri lane, and you can't really go making weird picks there.
Well, of course, in a game like this, I imagine we're not going to see a Batrider and Magnus or anything like that slip through. So it's going to be really interesting to see which of these, who's going to ban what in this beginning stage. The first four bans are going to be absolutely essential. And it's always going to leave, as we've said so many times before, a few of the good, really great heroes that need to be banned out of the pick. And there's no guarantee. Normally, after that one kind of gets through, then Shadow Demon and Keeper of the Light are picked up, or Keeper of the Light is almost always picked up, or that or Shadow Demon. The two kind of go hand in hand. They're very popular, but well, we could see Infused and IMBA do anything. They're both professional. They're both very good. IMBA being semi-professional and Infused being professional, they both know exactly what they want to do, and they'll go about it in a strange way in order to win.
Yeah, and the banter's already started, so it's nice to see that even pro teams can banter a little bit, which is always good because you don't normally see that. So yeah, we will hopefully be starting very soon. They've just asked for a little bit of waiting before the actual game starts. Hopefully that will.
Fantastic.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna see if everybody's ready, and then we shall be going very very shortly. We shall dive straight into the picks, and hopefully everything will work very very nicely. So I think everybody's ready. Are you ready, Veg?
I am indeed.
Okay, let's do it. We're off. Um, we are about to begin the first game of the showcase match between Infused and IMBA Battlenet. It's taken a while to get here. I'm not gonna lie. We started this tournament on the 1st of January, and just over a month later, we're finally here. We're finally in the showcase match. The February tournament has obviously already begun, and we're already 1.5 rounds through that. But this game shouldn't be any worse because of that. I can expect this to be a pretty fantastic game.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know again, we saw an amazing, absolutely astounding match between final between IMBA Battlenet versus Enemy Intelligence. Both really fought to get here. Enemy Intelligence proving they were pretty good. They were actually competition. So for IMBA
Yeah.
to be here shows they really are in top form. They managed to end up winning it 2-1 quite heavily by the end. So they've got enough resilience to keep through in this best of three. And the question is, who's going to be able to keep the most resilient, avoid getting those mistakes for the longest time?
Yeah, and you have to say that just because Team Infused are the professional team, you have to give them a slight edge. But you can never rule IMBA Battlenet out. They are a fantastic team, as we've seen. They play an awful lot up in Greece, and they do play against very very good teams over there as well. So and as you said, they did have to beat Tel, and Tel have proven that they're an exceptionally good team. So this is going to be a closer match than a lot of people are probably expecting it, and we will have to see actually what happens, because IMBA Battlenet could quite easily win this game, and if they do, it's really going to show that the sort of teams we're getting in our tournaments can really turn professional, and they're really capable of it, and they're almost there. They just need that chance and that nudge that we're actually providing them with.
Absolutely, and we've seen we see teams of kind of all aspects of ability, but in the Battle.net show, they're right at the top. They are there. They have the quality of a professional team without a doubt. They just need a bit more of a fan base, and that's what we're trying to show them. Give them by trying to show, look, these guys are going to go against Infused. They might not win, but they're likely to. So let's see, and as we can see already, the bans going very much straight to the meta. Those 5 heroes that are so powerful, you don't want to let them through, and then the ones that get through actually out of those 5 biggest bans are Undying, the Shadow Demon, and the Keeper of the Light obviously as the 2 extra supports, and Infuse goes straight for the Shadow Demon, one of the most crazily amazing aggressive supports at the moment.
Yeah, they've given up. I think they took a while to pick, because they were really deciding whether they wanted Ezreal or the Shadow Demon. They did decide to go for the Shadow Demon eventually, so they're giving the Keeper of the Light to IMBA Battlenet. IMBA Battlenet also have the Undying if they really want to pick him up, but they might want to lock out a carry, because Infuse really do know what they're doing, and they've got to pick. They've got their brand choice of carry. As soon as they get passed back over to them, they can complete their tri lane and then continue banning to their strengths. So IMBA Battlenet have really got to think about it. The banning kind of went as we would expect, as Veg did point out. The Darkseer ban getting chosen over the Undying ban by Team Infuse. They obviously don't like that Darkseer, and there's good reason for that. He's obviously absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see an Ezreal versus a Shadow Demon, because I don't think we've actually seen that before.
No, we haven't. There's almost always kind of come against each other. They never really separated, or one is banned out and the other gets picked up. But now Imber are really thinking. They obviously didn't want to go against the Shadow Demon. That's actually Venduza's favourite to play as one of the supporting of the he's one of the support players on the tri-lane for Imber Battlenet. So they're now going to be thinking about who they really want to go with them, and they probably should pick up their carry. But let's face it, there are so many heroes at this point. They know that out of everyone they've faced through this tournament, Infused as the professional team they're fighting against, fought to play against, is going to be the best at counter picking and counter banning to try and stop them getting that edge. And this is where Imber need to think that their main advantage might come slightly below.
Yeah, it certainly will, and they're taking a very, very long time to think about this pick. They only have 15 seconds left of their reserve time, so this is taking them an awful long time to pick up their second hero. But as we've seen, this first picking stage is probably by far the most important. So there's good reason that they're taking a while to think about it. They pick up the Phantom Lancer, so they don't want to give away the carry, as we were saying, and he is the most powerful carry in the game right now. They only have 3 seconds of reserve time for the entire rest of the picking stage, but they'll probably think it's worth it just so they could decide to pick up that Phantom Lancer, because he is ridiculously strong.
Well, you really can't blame them for waiting that long. IMBA Battlenet has Phantom Lance as practically their favourite carry, and you can really understand why. He's in most of their games, and giving Infused someone like that is just the
10
opposite of what
seconds
any team
remaining.
wants to do going against them. So they've chosen the Keeper of the Light. They're going to be a bit, and Phantom Lance, so they're going to be a bit gutted that they can't land it as well.
Dire
But
team pick.
Yeah, Team Infused just going straight for their offlaner, so they've picked up the Lone Druid, one of the strongest offlaners right now, extremely strong, almost impossible to take down at the beginning, early and late stages of the game. His bear is obviously extremely strong, so they've picked him up very early, so yeah, and Lifestealer, so there's their carry as well, so
Radiant
they've
team
gone for an extremely hard carry. Lifestealer again, one of the best carries at the moment, and particularly good against Keeper of the Light.
Well, exactly, but let's not forget that Lone Druid is can actually be beaten by RR. We know how fantastic RR is. He could go for a completely strange pick, but it's likely for him to maybe go for someone like a Weaver, because that Shikuchi allows him to go through the bear, doesn't cost that much mana, and then he can just hurt the Lone Druid himself, who before level 6 is kind of up subject to that. But they're actually going to pick up
Brew.
Brewmaster.
Brewmaster being picked up by IMBA Battlenet, and we've seen Brewmaster versus Lone Druid before. IMBA Battlenet picking up the Brewmaster just to counter the Lone Druid, and it works so exceptionally well. There's no denying that. Brewmaster, IMBA really love running this Brewmaster against Lone Druids. But I think something we do have to say is that RR, every time Lifestealer is picked up against IMBA, RR always picks Clockwork. For what we've seen, they always pick Clockwork. So Clockwork is definitely on the cards. Cogs are just exceptionally strong against Lifestealer. There's absolutely no denying it. And if you can get a Blade Mail, you can just absolutely destroy that Lifestealer. So yeah, we've seen RR play Clockwork quite a lot, and maybe we're going to see that again.
Well, I really do hope so, because he can hookshot through practically everything. The man is so accurate. It's a little bit unnerving, but as you can see now, Infused they don't want to give away that Undying. Really, something they shouldn't be that worried about, because I don't think that hero was anywhere near Imba's minds. Imba focused more on banning out the mids. Templar Assassin is still kind of in the works, though. We could see a Templar Assassin relatively soon. She is the best mid after Batrider, so and Magnus. So once those kind of heroes are gone, maybe them not choosing not to ban her yet shows that they are trying to go for her themselves, although they wouldn't get first pick, and Infused don't have their mid yet, so there's no real way of deciding.
Yeah, I suppose in a Battle.net have really got to start banning out those mids. I mean, Infused really have locked out the rest of their lanes. They're only looking for one support hero, and there's such a wide variety of good support heroes that can go onto a lane with Shadow Demon that there's just no point banning out all the support heroes. You're just not going to get them all, and then your bans will just be pointless and for nothing. So Imbra are probably going to start banning out that mid. I do expect a Templar Assassin ban, as Veg did say. Templar Assassin, one of the strongest mids in the game at the moment. So Infused taking their time over this ban. They really want to get this one right, and they're really trying to see what angle Imbra are coming from. And but as we've seen in the past, it's very difficult to tell which angle Imbra are actually coming from.
Well, that's the thing. They have so many strengths. They normally tend to play as very, very aggressively as possible. But we have seen them play defensively as well. They can turn it around pretty much any way that they want, and they have this kind of way to mold the game. And they actually go for the Weaver ban. As I was saying, Weaver is a great counter on an offlane for Lone Druid. So to try ban out that, they are thinking really clearly. But Lifestealer is on the boards. Ara is around. We know how much he loves Clockwork. If they don't ban him out, I am really, really hoping to see those.
Yeah, and I would expect to see it now. Or a Clinks. RR is really good on either of those heroes. The Clinks and the Clockwork are really the heroes that RR does exceptionally well on, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them pick up one of those. Clinks would be okay against Lone Druid. It wouldn't be the worst matchup in the world. I mean, they'll be able to just sit there and sap XP. So IMBA Battlenet are still thinking quite hard about their bans. Actually, they don't have very long left. There's 6 seconds to ban up altogether. So
reserve time.
yeah, very interesting. Very interesting to see what's actually going to happen. And the Templar Assassin does get banned. So we did call it, and it has happened.
Well, that was playing it about as close as you possibly could. Look at that, absolutely nothing left. They just picked in the very last second, and I have to say I completely agree with the ban. They've now got a very limited pool of mid heroes. You can really go for an Invoker would be one of the best choices, but it's very, very likely now that Brewmaster could actually be running up in mid, which we're in fact almost a guarantee that Brewmaster will be running up in mid, and with so few heroes left for Infused to choose as their mid to counter it, they're going to have a reasonably hard time trying to find exactly what will be great to go against him. But Infused are still thinking they're probably
10
going to try and ban it
seconds
on offlane
remaining.
again if they know anything about IMBA, and they have actually tried to face him before, and both
5
teams have won against
seconds
each other.
remaining.
Then they know how dangerous RR is, and they'll probably want to think about exactly what they're going to remove specifically against him. But no, they go for the Disruptor ban, so they want to get rid of stronger supports for Phantom Lancer and Keeper to combine with, and you have to say it makes complete sense. Disruptor is one of the best supports at the moment. His glimpse being able to take anyone back. If you caught someone like Lifestealer out when his rage was on cooldown, as he's not very fast, he's completely melee, and being without a lone druid, maybe if lone druid went back and that bear with his entangling claws being so helpful for Lifestealer if they team up being away, Lifestealer could really be in trouble.
Radiant team.
Okay. Well, Rubik getting picked up by Infused, so they know where they want to go with him, and he's obviously very, very good at stealing Brewmaster's ulti, but the null field is probably the thing they've picked him up for, because he is very good against Ezreal as well in team fights later on in the game. So, Infused picking up the last support hero, and that's what we were saying. IMBA Battlenet really couldn't ban out many of the support heroes, because there's just such a large amount of them. The bans would have just been completely wasted. So the Templar Assassin and Queen of Pain bans were probably a lot better. And IMBA Battlenet are now looking about the Earthshaker is going to get picked. So we see the Earthshaker support, who's actually come slightly back into the meta recently. He's very, very good, and that Fisher stun just does last a very, very long time.
Well, we know how accurate IMBA are with that. They're not going to be missing anything unless they kind of buckle a little bit under stress, or maybe from how long this is. This is a best of 3, so these teams are going to be really having to go for it after each time and time and time. And after that after an hour of constant focus, you might be able to miss
10
some, but we're seeing
seconds
IMBA with this
remaining.
unnatural level of focus, so maybe they'll just completely be able to
5 seconds
cope throughout
remaining.
all of these 3 games.
Yeah,
Provided.
I expect both these teams to play well all the way to the end, and the Tinker getting picked up by Infused, so they're going to go for the Tinker mid more than likely. It's going to be interesting to see what build they actually go for, but I expect more than likely they will be going for the March build just to push the lanes, because their Keeper and Phantom Lancer can really push lanes very, very fast.
Absolutely, and you have to wonder exactly what is IMBA going to do now. Of course, the Brewmaster will probably be against them. RR is yet to have his famous offlane, unless they are going to try and put a Brewmaster on the offlane, which would be very unusual for them.
Well, yeah, but we're going to see in 5 seconds what they're going to pick. They've got 3 seconds left. They're going to probably pick at 1. It's going to be the Clinks, so they go for the Clinks over the Clockwork. They didn't want to risk the Clockwork. Clockwork not particularly good against Tinker, actually, on that last pick, and so yeah, the Clink's getting picked up by RR straight away, going straight onto it. So that's pretty obvious what they're going to do with that Clinks now. Now that the offlane has actually picked it up. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because both these teams have very, very strong tri lanes. Who gets the best of the tri lane though? It's really just up to speculation.
Well, obviously we're going to have Shadow Demon and Rubik with the Lifestealer, so that is a lot of disable. Disruption being able to really help, and Soulcatcher doing so much damage. Helps out with the Phase Bolt. Telekinesis being able to not only lift heroes up, but drag them back towards the Lifestealer. And with that
10
open wounds as
seconds
well, there's so
remaining.
much disable in that lane. But IMBA Battlenet aren't a fan of having the most
5
disable
seconds remaining.
heavy tri lanes. They prefer to go with outright damage. So the Fisher being the one kind of disable there, and they're just going to use that and try and get as much damage as they can. And Vendusa just testing it out.
Yeah, well, I will run through the Radiant team, then I'll hand over to Vague, and he will be going over Team Infused. Very lucky for him. RR will be on this Clinks. Vedusa will be taking up the Earthshaker. Joker will be on the Brewmaster. MNT on the Phantom Lancer, like we've seen so many times in this tournament. And Infamous will be on his infamous Keeper of the Light.
Meanwhile, if we go over to the bottom lane on the die, we have Ninja Monkey on the Lifestealer. We have Lazorian on Shadow Demon. Lelouch on Rubik. We have Zinxis on the Tinker, and finally we have Cody on the Lone Druid.
Yeah, and it looks like it's not going to be a try-v-try like we've seen so many times. We're actually going to be treated to two try-v solos, so very, very nice to see. And by nice, I mean this is probably going to be a little more boring than a try-v-try, with both of the solos just kind of hanging around and just waiting, really, just trying to get as much XP as possible.
Well, both teams put their tri-lane on the hard lane, which suggests maybe they were actually thinking they were planning to put their tri-lane on the safe lane and go try-v-try. I'm pretty sure that IMBA, in every single game IMBA play, they'd rather play try-v-try and actually be in the hard lane than just not have that try. So it looks like they're going to be swapping over now.
Yeah, they are swapping over, so we are going to see a try v try, and this is good for us as casters, and it's also exactly what IMBA Battlenet wants. So they really do fancy the matchup try v try, and they are going to be actively seeking that. What's going to be interesting is whether Joker can really hold his own against Tinker in mid, because as a melee hero in mid, the March is really going to do an awful lot of damage to him. It's really going to be able to push him back. So that's going to be a really interesting one to watch.
Well, Tinker's going to be going straight. Both of them are going to be going straight for the bottles. They've gone for the bottle, but Zinx is actually picking up one more Iron Branch than usual, because let's face it, Brewmaster does do a heck of a lot of damage, and he has a nice fast attack animation to be able to fight that. But it'll be interesting to see exactly what he does. Brewmaster has his Drunken Haze to start getting Zinx's missing, and Zinx's has his lasers to try and do the exact same thing to Joker. So it's really no telling yet who will win, but you have to say that you reckon Tinker as a ranged hero with March of the Machines will probably have the advantage here.
Oh yeah, you really do have to give the advantage to Zinxis in this lane. Although the Brewmaster has taken a very quick lead, 4-1 versus the 2-1 of Tinker, now 5-1. So Joker is starting to get slightly ahead. He is starting to do exactly what he needs to do, and now he just starts a little bit of harass on that Tinker. But yeah, Joker is a very good mid player. We've seen it time and time again. He's done exactly what he needs to do there, and that is going to be a really interesting match, especially as the game goes on. They start to get more levels in their nukes.
Absolutely. And if we look at top, we can actually see RR is having a nightmare with that Clinks, trying to go against the Lone Druid. Lone Druid currently has 6 last hits and 6 denies. He's really sharp with that, and RR, somebody that normally absolutely dominates the lane on no matter who he plays, is having a hard time. Lone Druid against Clinks isn't as perfect as you want to be, but with Clockwork not being so great against Tinker, he really didn't want to risk it, and he's just going to use the Searing Arrows to do as much damage to the actual Lone Druid himself as possible.
Yeah, well, it's that bear that's really doing it, the panda in this case. But it's really putting a lot of harass on RR, and there's no way RR can really go toe to toe with it because of how tanky the bear is at the beginning of the game. So RR is really struggling to get any sort of farm, and really nice micro actually by Coldy to be able to harass and last hit at the same time. He's doing a very good job of it.
Well, this is why he's in Team Infused. He has that ability to just kind of use this so easily that he doesn't have any kind of problem. And Lone Druid being one of the easier heroes to micro, just having to switch between the two, you don't need to have any kind of shift groups.
And looking back in mid, this is exactly what we were talking about. As they start to get more levels up, this Tinker is taking a massive lead against Joker. He really is doing very well against him now. 14-3 versus 11-2. So where he was behind, he's actually caught up and overtaken. So that's going to be very interesting. The Earthshaker illusion is just hanging around the water, so they're not going to be doing anything with that. Looking down at bottom though, they've actually caught out MNT. Are they going to dive him? I think they are. They put up a sentry ward. I don't think they're going to get there. Ninja Monkey pops the rage. They are going to get MNT, and first blood does get drawn by Team Infused, and it does go to Ninja Monkey. So that's going to be very important for that life stealer.
Absolutely, it looks like Phantom Lancer was just not willing to give up that kill. He went straight back for it, but the rage really stops him doing that much damage, especially in this early game where he's so heavily reliant on a Spirit Lance. So rage, really useful and absolutely dependent on Lifestealer, completely dependent on that ability at this moment. And let's not forget, they have the Shadow Demon to be able to level up Soul Catcher that easily. The extra bonus damage really does build up, and it's going to be difficult for him to really do much. They're normally so aggressive. We can see MNT, they're trying to be that aggressive kind of style. They might have to actually take a step back and just let Infuse kind of do a little bit more farming than they'd rather like them to, because they might have the stronger trail in here.
Yeah, and if we look at top lane, we can see that Coldy is pretty much an entire level ahead of RR on Clinks now. So RR, who we normally see dominate every single off lane, Coldy is just doing so well with that bear against him. It's something that we probably weren't expecting, but it's happened the way that Infused were expecting it to. The Tinker in mid now doing very well against Joker, and you can expect that to just continue. And the March. The March spam is just really hurting Joker right now. He obviously can't dodge it, and it does do a ridiculous amount of damage, 32 damage per second while you're stood in there, and that's just absolutely insane.
Well, Brewmaster's doing a nice job of keeping up. He's got 16 last hits, so he's only 4 behind. That's not that large amount, but as we were saying with Clinks, it's not the ideal pick for them. RR didn't really pick him because he wanted to have to go to clicks against him. He probably did want to play that Clockwork because that is seemingly his favourite hero, especially when he comes up against the lifestealer. But that Tinker just put him off of it a bit too much. So he's had to go for Clinks, which isn't that strong against Lone Druid. He's probably going to come in a lot heavier once he gets his Orchid.
Yeah, it can, and we're just waiting for the unpause now. I'm not entirely sure. I don't have privileges to unpause it, so I actually can't. Should we? I think we're just gonna have to say we can't unpause. Don't have. Okay, no, they've actually done it for us. Okay, that's nice of them, very nice of them. So, the lone druid has continued the game, and yeah, this Tinker spam again. You can see Brewmaster just can't get near the creeps, and Tinker's really just farming exceptionally well. It's just probably just going to go straight for the Boots of Travel, as you would see normally on Tinker. It's the most farmed hero on the map, sitting on 1.8k. Second is this Lifestealer, also on 1.8k, just marginally behind. But they've caught the Lifestealer out. He does have his Rage up if he wants it. Nice disruption by the Shadow Demon, actually manages to keep him alive, and all of IMBA have to back off.
The Shadow Demon there just got a little bit confused. It looked like he'd actually been trapped. He was trapped in his own illusions, but it actually worked as a protective barrier, so really nice play by Team Infused. Just stopped Ninja Monkey really being in any kind of danger whatsoever.
Yeah, they completely stopped MNT getting to him, which was exactly what they wanted to do until that fissure was down, and then they could just get the Lifestealer out of there. So yeah, this tri-lane at bottom just really isn't going as well as IMBA were hoping. You can see on the net worth the top 3 heroes are all on the side of Team Infused, with the Tinker, then the Lifestealer, and then the Lone Druid, and far behind, of about 400 behind, is then Clinks, and Phantom Lancer only sitting on 1k of net worth after 5 minutes. We're only on 13 last hits, which is just not at all where you want to be.
No, well, I'm really sure that we will see IMBA come right back in at the mid, but it looks like that Lone Druid pickup in particular really did pick them up. Well, actually, the Tinker pick, when you think about it, because it stopped RR going with the hero he was most likely to go for, ended up with that Clinks, who just isn't that great a combatant against Lone Druid. But it looks like no. If Venduza kept back, he wasn't exactly going to get himself caught out, but he's playing it very, very risky, just kind of constantly staying in the jungle, waiting for a good fish at the moment to appear so that he can do that, catch out the Lifestealer possibly. Yeah, and get him and see that kill back.
I'd like to point out Lifestealer's build actually, because he's gone for phase boots plus an orb of venom. So he's gone for like he's gone for just really early game harass right now with the orb of venom is really, really annoying. Plus that slow is just crazy. So especially on a melee hero, it's got 12% slow, which is completely ridiculous.
Well, Infused know exactly what they're doing. They want that Lifestealer to have as much harass as possible, because in this kind of build, he actually has a really great chance. Oh, looks like Ninja Monkey may be in trouble now, though. Are they going to go for it? No, MNT. IMBA are a little bit hesitant now.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with this Lifestealer. Even if they do get a good fissure off and manage to lock him off, he still has that rage and he can just walk away. And they really don't want to be walking into a raged Lifestealer with Rubik and Shadow Demon supporting him. So it's just really, really difficult for them to actually do anything at the moment. And looking back in mid again, Zinx is really, really taking control. The Brewmaster's doing everything he can, but it's just really not enough. And he's going to have his Boots of Travel up very, very shortly. He's sitting at 1500, so 500 more will do it, and that's just going to be a minute or two until Zinx actually manages to get those Boots of Travel. So nice farm from him to get those boots as quickly as possible. And RR is still not doing well, only on 13 last hits. And this Lone Druid on 39, they've really got to try and stop this Lone Druid as quickly as possible, because he's getting so ridiculously farmed.
Well, we can see RR is just focusing entirely on harassing Lone Druid as much as
we'll have
can.
to look at bottom. We have to go back to bottom because they've actually smoked up in the trees. They're actually just going to leave it, I think. So are they going to catch out Infamous? Infamous shows his face. Are they going to go for him? It doesn't look like they are. Yeah, there's disruption. But nice fish up on Earthshaker actually just stops anything else from happening. It looked like they might have go for it. They were smoked up, but they just decided it probably wasn't worth it to try and jump MNT, especially since they didn't actually have a sentry wall down. They would have had to go and place it. So Yeah, but Infused just showing the sort of dominance that they've got on this bottom lane. They can really do kind of whatever they want. They can really scare IMBA back to the tower and just hold them there. And you can see how aggressive Infused are being at bottom with their heroes just placed in the jungle and really locking out any sort of support points for this Earthshaker and Keeper of the Light.
Well, you can see how much an IMBA is than normal. They really, really don't want to get caught out because they know how accurate Infused are compared to some of the teams they come up against. They are equal to IMBA, and that is not what IMBA are used to. They're normally so skillful that to come against somebody who can face them off means that they have to be a little bit more hesitant. They can't poke Brandon as much as they want to, and they're going to have to just let Phantom Lancer get as much farm as he can because he's really fallen behind.
Well, I would like to point out that Tinker now has his boots of travel, so this is really not looking particularly good for IMBA. They really need to try and do something because this Tinker is going to start dominating the map now. Zinx is just gonna maybe even farm the Ancients with his march. It looks like actually that might be what he's planning on doing. Yes, it is. So he's going to just be Ancient farming, and he's going to be building up maybe a Soul Ring as soon as he can, and then as soon as he has a Soul Ring, he can just teleport to every point of the map, and that's just going to be so exceptionally annoying for IMBA to try and deal with a Tinker that's just roaming around and just doing just pushing every lane all the time. They're going to be stuck behind their towers pretty much the entire game, especially with how good supports Infused have managed to pick up.
Well, I really am worried for IMBA here. It looks like they're going to have a difficult, very, very difficult time. Just Tinker being able to go everywhere. He just uses up all of his mana, makes sure that he rearms so that he has all the stuff off cooldown. And that rearm works so
IMBA now going hyper aggressive, and they're going to take out the Shadow Demon, and now they might dive Ninja Monkey. Ninja Monkey has the rage, and he has his open wound, so it looks like MNT might be falling. He's just used his magic wand, so maybe he might get away. Ninja Monkey getting hit by the Q from MNT, and now he's just trying to get his use his Tranquil Boots and get back up. Is Ninja Monkey going to fall? This is much better from this is much better from IMBA Battlenet. So this is exactly what we saw, and then MNT takes out the Rubik on the back, so they get another kill, and all of a sudden, IMBA Battlenet are playing much better. Nice. They really caught the Shadow Demon out, and they played as aggressive as we normally see. And when they start playing that aggressive, they can really play exceptionally well.
Well, I'm a little bit thinking maybe IMBA did that kind of whole cautious thing just as an act to get Infused a little bit more slack. We know how clever they can be. It looks actually now like they've caught out Infamous. Surely Infamous is definitely going to die from that. They put all the damage that Tinker did there, popping everything that he has, and the extra damage from the, sorry about that, from the lifestealer means Infamous had no hope. So Infused just trying to recover back there. They don't want the score to be any tiny bit in IMBA's favour.
Yeah, and they do have the farm advantage, and they don't want to give that away in any way possible. So Tinker you see Tinker just farming up as much as he can using that march, which is a really good farming tool. And he's actually stacked the camps while he was doing it. So you can really see why they're a professional team. They really are handling everything just just really well. But Brewmaster has the haste rune. Is he going to dive in? He's got caught by the disruption. He still has the haste if he wants to go for it. It doesn't look like he is now. He's just going to back off. The illusions are chasing him, so they're going to know he's there. So, but yeah, they've really got to try and do something against this lone druid on this off lane. You can see that he's getting pretty farmed. He's sitting on 2,200 gold. He's got 70 last hits, 68 last hits. Sorry, if we flick over to the net worth, he's sitting on 4.3k net worth, which is the second highest in the game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Absolutely, and we're seeing IMBA really get stuck behind here as they're kind of top third place. It's finally taken over by Joker at 3.5, but the lifesteal is really not that far behind, and Phantom Lance is going to have to keep building up. Obviously, it's one of the hardest carries in the game, if not the hardest. Looks like that perfect Fisher just traps out Zinxus, and he is going to fall.
Nice play.
Zinx manages to pick it up.
Yeah, very nice play by IMBA. They were waiting for that one, and as soon as the keeper started channeling, Earthshaker dived in with that fissure, and you saw the nice combo that can pull off. But now they've gone top. They're going to try and take out Coldy on the lone druid. I don't think Coldy has any idea it's coming. RR running through the water, but he only has 1 point in the skeleton walk, so he's not going to be able to catch up Coldy particularly fast. Coldy is just going to port out as soon as he can. He's bought his teleport scroll now. They still know where he is. Are they actually going to dive him? It doesn't look like they are. They're just gonna back off. They don't have the firepower unless they get him trapped, and Earthshaker obviously can't trap him from this sort of angle. So they're just gonna try and limit his farm now instead of go for the gank.
Well, it was just really beautifully played there by IMBA to be able to come up and make sure that they deny that tower. They don't want it Infused to get any more gold than they already have. What we have to say, we can see this Joker doing a really nice job of trying to catch up to this Tinker. He's already got a cane boot, so he's going to get as much as he can. Keep on supporting IMBA, going for a really kind of constantly attack style role with everybody getting as much mana regen as possible, and that's the advantage of Keeper of the Light, to be able to just give constantly 300 mana to everyone the second it's off cooldown. But Zinx's farm, if we look at it, he's just killing every single camp in the jungle so easily with this March of the Machines.
Yeah, this March spam is really working out very well, as you would expect. And he's just going to keep teleporting in and then coming back out and then going back in again. Joker and Infamous are hanging around in the trees, so maybe we're going to see a gank try and come out on bottom. Lelouch is just kind of standing there. If they go around the back, they're definitely going to catch Lelouch out. Does he have any idea it's coming? It doesn't look like he does. The Steam update just popped up then, which is a little bit weird, but the Brewmaster initiates. In comes the Lifestealer. He actually goes inside Lelouch. The Brewmaster pops his ulti, and if they both die so ridiculously fast. Now they're diving the Tinker. The Brewmaster can afford to. He has his ultimate up. Nobody else from IMBA has actually followed, so it looks like the Brewmaster's just going to have to back out of that one as soon as he can. But nice play. They get a double kill again, and IMBA are starting to take a lead in this game.
Well, as we were saying, IMBA are an incredible team, and now Zalzarian being caught out. Beautiful Fissure again. This Earthshaker's accuracy is insane, always just going slightly just out of the way, making a beautiful wall, so that there's nothing, absolutely nothing that Infused can do once that Fissure is out and somebody is caught out of place. And Infused are getting a little bit sloppy here in terms of their placement. They cannot let anyone be a little bit too far forwards, because Fissure has the ability to completely trap them, especially in a lane. So they're going to have to be a little bit more careful, a little bit more coordinated together if they want to face up against IMBA, because they started to build up that role, and we know how quickly, just as a team, they can snowball.
Well, MNT, has got one of his blades of alacrity, so he's starting on his diffusal blade, and give him 5 minutes, and he'll probably actually have finished that. So his farm's looking okay. And if we have a look at the XP and gold grass, they're actually pretty much about equal. The gold graph isn't really equal at all, actually, even with the good fights that IMBA have had. Infused have taken a 3k lead, which isn't much, seeing that that's for the entire team. That's about a tower and a half's worth. So that's not bad, but that's really most of that's that Tinker just being able to farm as much as he wants.
But I have to point you out to the jungle where Clinks and Joker with an invisibility rune, both of them using their invis to the best of their advantage, completely destroyed that Tinker, and that is what they want if they want to get back on the lead in the gold, because as we know, that 3000 had to pretty much be most of the Tinker himself, and being able to disable him like that is not only going to make him a little bit more cautious, it's going to let them know that Infused can't let that Tinker free roam, because they're going to get him.
Yeah, it's still about 3k in favour of Infused, but IMBA are really doing everything they should to try and get back into this game. And they're just ganking as much as they can, but they haven't been able to gank this Lone Druid, and Lone Druid has his relic now, so Lone Druid is going to have that Radiance up very shortly, unless they do something about it, but it doesn't look like they have any idea. They're just not doing anything about it right now.
Well, they're really not that worried, I guess. IMBA always have a plan, but it's really strange to let a Lone Druid get this farmed. He's almost got his Radiance. It's really not a long time. And you have to think, a Lone Druid with a Radiance has the ability to completely dominate the game by himself. So what IMBA are doing to allow Coldie to keep on farming is, well, just up to them. Surely they have a plan with this. But we'll have to find out exactly what. They obviously have Brewmaster. Maybe they feel that Brewmaster is enough of a counter to stop Lone Druid.
Oh yeah, Brewmaster is a very hard counter for Lone Druid. Actually being able to take out his bear for 6 to 7 seconds when he pops his ulti is absolutely huge, because they can actually kill the Lone Druid in that time and get rid of the bear for good. And they don't have to worry about that Radiance and the Assault Cuirass effect or anything like that while he's up in the air. So, yeah, the Lone Druid is obviously countered exceptionally well by the Brewmaster, but you've still got to feel that they shouldn't let him farm this much, because he could quite easily get a counter against this Brewmaster.
Well, we know exactly how good Infused are. They probably very much will be thinking about Brewmaster being able to counter him, and this is why we see Coldie farming quite so hard.
Smoke gank. They're
smoked
up though. Joker's actually gone straight into the middle. He's popped his Drunken Haze. He has the haste rune, so he's going to be blocking him off as much as possible. He pops his ultimate. So he's actually using the ultimate now to try and counter the... He's put the bear up, as we said. And now Cody falls. MNT gets the kill. Are they going to turn onto Shadow Demon? It looks like they are. The Brewmaster doing a ridiculous amount of damage with his ultimate. MNT is almost certainly going to be picking up him. The Brewmaster gets it. Now they've turned onto the Rubik. Are they going to get the Rubik? Tinker teleports in, but the Rubik dies almost instantly. And IMBA back off. They're 10-2 up, and they're playing so fantastically well, like we always see.
Well, as we were saying, IMBA can really easily win this one, and now we look at the XP and the gold graphs. Look at it's in favour, almost plus 2,000 for IMBA Battlenet now, and if you look at the gold graph, it's actually going back to equal, so they've gained that back. IMBA are now decisively in the lead in terms of experience, and the gold is equal. They have every single chance to completely go and win this, but it's only one round. If they win this one, Infused has every chance to go against them next, and this is where every single time both these teams are going to have to show that kind of level of professionalism that they both are famous for showing.
Yeah, obviously it's a little bit too early to be saying who has a major advantage, because to be fair, it's still about equal, and one fight from Infused is going to turn this around. And remember, they still do have the lone druid getting an awful lot of farm. The courier actually could have got sniped there by the Brewmaster, but he didn't feel like that was necessary. So he's gonna back off. He was pinging in the jungle. I think he wanted one of them to come and help him, but no one was there. But we saw in that fight how much of a counter Brewmaster is for lone druid, being able to disable that bear for 6 to 7 seconds and then just actually killing the lone druid, who is actually quite weak without spirit bear completely.
Well, absolutely. Spirit Bear acts as the actual hero itself for lone druid, so without the Spirit Bear, he really has a nightmare of a time trying to deal with it.
So we're gonna have another pause. IMBA are actually calling for the pause, so maybe they're having a little bit of lag. We'll have to see what that is. But yeah, Ninja Monkey just can't get farmed enough, and this build that he's gone for, the Phase Boots and the Orb of Venom with the Drum of Endurance, that's very weird. Never normally see a Lifestealer go for these sort of items, but they obviously have a plan with it. They obviously know what they want to do. Maybe it's maybe he's picking up those items just to help out the entire team a little bit more, as well as give him a quite considerable amount of damage. Coldy is obviously just going to be playing the main carry role. You have to feel in this point they've realised that Lifestealer just isn't getting enough farm, and Coldy will probably be holding up the fort on the carry position.
Well, absolutely, it's guaranteed. I reckon Ninja Monkey probably thought that Infused were going to be taking the lead with a few more aggressive early game kills, and so he went for this kind of Phase Boots and the Orb of Venom. It doesn't cost him that much really, but picking up a drum afterwards just seems to go on with the support role. He knows that he's not going to be able to hard carry like he probably originally planned to, but Coldy having a lone druid means that he can probably take over for that. The only problem is IMBA have this Brewmaster, and Brewmaster is really doing a nice job. If we look at the net worth, we can see he's at 5.8k, so he is about 700 behind the lone druid, but a couple more ganks on that Coldy like that. He's staying on his own in the offlane. Infuse have Tinker to port in, but it normally takes a little bit too long.
Well, he has his Blink Dagger up, and the Brewmaster is pretty much where he wants to be right now. The Blink Dagger is one of his core items, obviously, just to give him that initiation. Brewmaster doesn't really need that many items, because most of his effect in this game is definitely going to be when he's in his ultimate, being able to disable the bear. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Infused actually decide to deal with that, because they really do have to think of something, because this lone druid is getting shut down every time a fight happens.
Well, absolutely, but lone druid is such a late game kind of hero. Well, he doesn't need that much. He only really needs a radiance, and then he can start building pretty much what he wants in order to win. But in this kind of situation where they're going to have to rely on him entirely, he's going to have to get a little bit more, a little bit faster, and just be in every single team fight that he can, because Lifestealer alone is not enough.
Yeah, and we see them just clear the illusions that were on the tower from the Phantom Lancer. Phantom Lancer just continuing his jungling. MNT doing a good job. He now has a Diffusal Blade, so that's going to be very important. He got that about at the time we were expecting, about 20 minutes. Once his farm didn't go particularly well at the start, so it looks like he's actually just starting to swing in IMBA's favour. Obviously, Team Infused are a team that are not going to give this up easily at all, and they can easily turn this around. They're easily good enough. They're a professional team, as we've said, and professional teams are obviously very good.
Well, that was a little bit of a strange statement, but yes, very true. And it looks actually like Venduza and MNT, they're going to start going the push up on top. And it's not really that surprising. You're going to expect to see IMBA start their push now. They're a lot more of kind of 30 minutes or less team, and they like to clean up as fast as possible. They don't really want to let Lone Druid get to the late game. But even with a Brewmaster, it's going to be very, very scary for IMBA Battlenet to have to come across a fully farmed Lone Druid. And it even gives the chance for Lifestealer to get farmed up as well. And Lifestealer is really going to be a bit of a very strong threat.
It looks like they're trying to take this tower. Tinker's actually blinked in, and he's going to get caught out by the MNT popping. They've used the dust. It does catch MNT. They know exactly where he is. He's trying to teleport out. He's not going to get there. The Rubik's surely going to get him. No! He does manage to get away. Only just. But he does get away, and it's those little things that really do add up in these sort of games.
Well, they managed to take the tower and not lose a single life, and that is really well done. Actually, Venduza took him so long to port there, you had to feel a little bit worried for him. It didn't look like he might get away, but they just managed to get Infused to all come there, all waste their time to get up there, and not actually get the tower. So, IMBA doing really, really well here, being able to move, being able to actually have map dominance.
Joker.
But Joker, yes, coming in here. He's used his ultimate now. Who is he going to try and take out? He's probably going to get Zinxis now. Tinker has no hope of escaping, and S-Joker just gets the kill there with his ultimate. And now they're going for Coldie. Surely they won't be able to get him. Coldie is easily able to escape. He usually uses a stun from his S-Joker ultimate. They've gone back to just kill the bear and piss off, and they're actually going to get the towers. RR is going to fall to the tower itself. Oh, Ninja Monkey gets a kill on the Keeper of the Light, and Infused are looking to turn this around.
Oh, look at Venduza's HP. He's going to get killed by the burn from the Radiance. But again, that did not go the way that IMBA were expecting. They blinked in with the Brewmaster and popped his ultimate, and they really went for the big dive. But Infused easily turned it around and got them for a 3-for-1, so really not what IMBA wanted or what IMBA expected. And now Infused are going to take a tower, so now Infused are looking like they've got a slight advantage. If we have a look at the gold graph, it's actually now slightly in favor of IMBA, and the XP graph, they're both pretty much equal. So yeah, they're both almost equal. They're less than 1,000 for each in favor of IMBA. So this game is really close.
As we were saying, these teams are a match made in heaven for each other because they both test each other to the absolute limit. We see Lifestealer picking up a Helm Ryan Will. It's more than easy to expect that we're going to see him picking up an armlet, and there he is, the armlet right now. It was already in the courier, so he's wasting no time. We know how powerful a Lifestealer is once he gets his armlet.
Yeah, MNT just going for a diffusal blade, and he's no, not diffusal blade. We've got a Heart Tarask. He's going to catch up Zinxis. Is he going to be able to get him? It looks like Tinker might actually get him back. No, the Q gets the kill, and MNT soloing the Tinker up on the top. And he's looking for that Heart of Tarask as soon as possible. He really wants to make himself extremely tanky, and that Vitality booster came in very handy then against Tinker.
Well, I don't think he's going to have any trouble getting the Heart of Tarask quite quickly. He is doing a great job of farming now, catching up. He is about 150 behind both the Lone Druid and the Tinker, so he really does need to keep it going. There's a double damage here, and it looks like Ninja Monkey's not going to waste any time picking it up. With that, RR is going to have to be careful. There's no way RR is going to initiate on that. He's not going to be foolish here.
No, he was just scouting out. They do know he's got him. They do know that he's got the double damage.
And we're going to see him probably back up as much as they can. There's no way that they'll let Ninja Monkey get any more kills, because he's already got his armlet now. But that Orb of Venom as well, actually, a little bit of a pain from Earthshaker, just trying to keep him back as much as he can. But IMBA Battlenet, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what they do now. Infused are able to turn that last fight around. If they turn one more around, we're going to see it go in Infused's favour. And now Lifestealer has his armlet. It really could be painful for them. We have Infused having a Sentry Ward, so if they want to put that down,
they've got him.
They come out and they've got out the Shadow Demon, so really nicely done. MNT now going for the Ninja Monkey, but beautifully placed time on the Rage, completely avoids the Spirit Lance.
Well, you have to say, RR really just scouting out at the moment, and nice scouting by him. He now has his Orchid, so the Shadow Demon had absolutely no chance of getting away from that one. This Orchid, if he can get it at the right time against Lifestealer, they could kill Lifestealer exceptionally quickly. The Orchid's going to be very good against him. I mean, Lifestealer really does rely on his Rage and his open wounds to be able to do as much damage as he should be able to, and if he gets silenced, then he's going to die very quickly.
Well, with an Orchid, a Keeper, and a Phantom Lancer around, I can't expect. I can imagine that Ninja Monkey's going to have his rage up pretty much constantly to avoid that Orchid Malevolence. But now look at the damage from a Keeper, Q,
Radiant's
and the
middle
Fisher from
tower is under
Earthshaker.
attack.
Sorry about that. Infused. They're going to have to be as careful as possible. They really want to push, and they're using March of the Machines to very successfully do that. At the end of the day, where they have Tinker being able to push so much and then just get away, but Ninja Monkey such low health. Are they going to try and initiate on it? No, they're just going to get back. RR trying to get a little bit of a hit off, but he's not going to be able to do that much against them. Infused and no fools. They're not going to risk getting Lifestealer killed.
Yeah, and MNT just going back to farm again. So he's had enough in mid, and he's just gone back to the farm. He's sitting on 2k gold now, and he's just using his illusion maybe to trick out this trick this Tinker. But yeah, he's really looking for that Heart of Trask, and he's going to have it probably in about probably about 6 or 7 minutes. You have to feel if he keeps up this level of farm, he's going to get it very quickly. And Infused have got to be looking to gank him a few times at least, or else he's going to really get away from them. Joker picks up another Invis Rune.
Likely. He has had so many Invis Runes, for about 4 or 5 now. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it really has given them an advantage. It keeps using them to scout out Coldie because he doesn't want Coldie to get any more farm than he already does. And Lone Druid doing a fantastic job actually keeping up with the Tinker. So that's insane considering how efficient Tinker can farm. They're all here now.
Oh, they've dusted.
Going.
They've dusted RR. RR is almost certainly going to die now. There's almost no way they're going to get him. There he does. He does pop to the Orchid burn. So the rest of IMBA have got to get out of there pretty quickly because they can't really engage. They'll just straight up die. I would have thought. Yeah, they've backed off now.
They've backed off now. They're going to probably have to let Infused just push mid. They're actually porting in now with this Joker. Joker really does not want to give up the mid towers. And we know how Ember are conservative when it comes to their towers. They never want to give a single one up. But it looks like they're just going to have to leave this now because they can't do anything against it. They're going to fortify. They've got Infamous setting up an Illuminate, but it's not going to be enough against them. It's only going to do a minor bit of damage. So many of them are tanky, minus Lazarian, that they can just do whatever they want here.
Yeah, and that Tinker March is just so exceptionally annoying, especially when you have so many melee heroes and so many squishy heroes. I mean, they have the Phantom Lancer and the Brewmaster and the Earthshaker. They're all melee heroes, and that March is just doing so much damage to them.
It really is, and that's the problem. They have to shut up Tinker a little bit more. He's gone 2-4, so he's not doing that bad a job, but he's got his ultimate up. He could go for whatever he wants, but
it looks like Ninja Monkey wants Roche. Ninja Monkey's gone into the Roche, but he doesn't surely have enough damage right now. All he has is an armlet. He has a double damage rune, but that's not going to be enough.
Well, he may just be leading his teammates around here. Everyone is kind of around. Ninja Monkey actually looked like he was going for the Ancients there, but no, he's not even sure about going on that. He doesn't have that much damage yet. Even with a double damage, he's a little bit cautious.
Yeah, he's not got nearly as farmed as they would want, but we've seen Lifestealers dominate games on almost no farm, so you can never rule him out, and he'll always be a big factor. He'll always be able to do as much as any other carry on exceptionally small amounts of farm, just because of his rage and how much natural damage he does when he gets an armlet. And we see a lot of Imber are actually smoked up. Are they gonna try and go for a gank? They might just take out this bear. They've all come out of smoke now, so maybe not. But the bear is a really nice scout tool against smoke, because obviously it does dispel the smoke.
Indeed it does. That Radiance just does enough damage to really keep them out. And Imber kind of being stuck by this. They're a fan of getting in behind the team, getting in kind of behind the team lines and using smoke to the best of their advantage and was constantly buying it. So having that bear just being able to constantly scout them out stops them really initiating. And the two teams are kind of limited to farming. And you have to say, in that situation, you have to put it in Infused favour, because if Lifestealer gets more farm, we know how well Lifestealer can do on a little farm. They're actually going to go for Roche now. Surely IMBA Battlenet have to know about this. They can't just let this happen, but it looks like they have no clue whatsoever. And Infused are going to be getting Roshan, surely. Oh, it looks like Infamous has now realised, no, he's just warding. Really, they have no idea.
Yeah, they really don't know. They might have just heard the rage get popped, and here comes the channel, but it's going to be too late. Roche is already pretty much dead. If RR can go in and maybe nick it, but he's not going to want it. They're a professional team. They have dusts, I think. Well, they actually didn't have dust. Brewmaster goes straight into the middle, pops his ultimate, immediately takes out the Rubik. Is he going to put the bear up? He is. And they could actually manage to turn this around, but look how fast all of the team of Infused are. They're not going to be able to catch them up. Ninja Monkey is just running away so fast. They're going to catch the Shadow Demon though. Shadow Demon shows his face just to try and save Ninja Monkey, and he is gonna die. He's trapped in there. Nice micro. He actually got him trapped on the back. Keeper of the Light did get dropped by the lone druid, who managed to actually catch him out. I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do now. Joker just takes out the bear. He's gone on to Coldy. Is he going to be able to do him? We see RR coming around the back, and if RR can start spamming those shots on him, he actually doesn't. Tinker actually gets the kill.
Well, RR actually managed to use to waste the Lifestealer's Aegis, so that all came really down to nothing for him. But Tinker's doing so much damage. It really is a force to be reckoned with. And it's going to be a problem for IMBA, because it's starting to look like Infused are going to turn this right back around. They have that pushing potential. The bear being so powerful, and Brewmaster's ultimate being able to disable him for a long time, but it doesn't seem like enough.
Well, MNT wasn't even in that fight. We have to remember that MNT was farming through that fight. Joker looks like he might be getting caught out now, though. They've actually put him at the telekinesis, and one shot from Tinker will get the kill. MNT just has to hang around the back, and it looks like Infused are going to be going for this next tower. Tinker's teleported back, and I expect he'll be coming back. He'll be coming in very shortly once he has. But look at the amount of damage these illusions are doing. They're actually going to kill Rubik. The illusions have killed Rubik, and MNT gets the kill just off the illusions. He then uses his doppelwalk and just runs away. But see how strong MNT is. He has his Q up. He hits it on Tinker. Tinker. Immediately his mana just gets drained, and he just can't do anything. Earthshaker gets taken out of the back. He was a little bit in the wrong position, but you can see the power of MNT now. Once he has his farm, he has his Heart of Tarask.
Well, indeed, it didn't take him that long to pick it up, and now he can go for whatever he wants. We might actually see a Heaven's Halberd go for just disabling that Lone Druid, and that would be a great pickup. Combined with Brewmaster's ultimate, Lone Druid would be able to do nothing against that Brewmaster and the Phantom Lancer combined, so we could see this go really nicely in the favour of IMBA Battlenet if he picks up a Heaven's Halberd.
I expect him probably more likely to pick up a Skull Basher just because of how good it is against that Lifestealer, and maybe make it into an Abyssal Blade, because it can lock down that Lifestealer, and they really need to. And we saw that in the last game that the Lifestealer dominated the game because they had no way of shutting him down. They had no hard disable, and they really did need to get an Abyssal Blade to turn that off. Obviously, that was a few days ago, that game. I can't actually remember who played it, but still, it does show that Skull Basher into Abyssal Blade is definitely the way to counter Lifestealer if you're a carry.
Well, that 2-second stun allows for so much damage. Combine that with an Orchid Malevolence from Clinks, and you completely disable his rage. Being able to do that.
Clinks has a haste rune, and he might initiate on one of them pretty soon. I think he's just waiting for someone else to come in, or waiting for one of them to get alone. Yeah, he's chasing down the Rubik. You can tell that he's going to go for it pretty soon. He's just waiting for Lelouch to make a mistake, but he isn't. He's just hanging around the tower. Here he goes. Yep, he pops the Orchid, and there's an easy kill for Clinks. He was just waiting for that one the entire time, and as soon as Rubik was on his own, very easy kill.
Another double damage. It looks like that Clinks is going to be saving, or is he? No, he instantly activates it to go for. He could take down a tower with that so easily.
He's going to probably go for this.
BKB.
I think he's going to go for this Shadow Demon. He's got his Orchid back up now. If he wants to go for the Shadow Demon, he can. I mean, there's only Lone Druid there with him. I don't think he realises that. He's popped his Shadow Walk once again, so it looks like he might be patrolling the jungle while he has his double damage, and maybe try and get a kill or two.
Well, we know how good RR is. We expect to see him picking up something like that as soon as possible. He's getting his BKB now. He's only 300 gold away from it. So the second he has that, it's going to be a real force to be reckoned with. They're not going to be able to disable him, so they can just completely destroy.
I think the other caster, who Boo, is actually disconnected from the game, or he might have been the spectator. Actually, he was the spectator. So ignore what I just said. But yeah, you can really see that this Clinks is starting to do well now. He didn't really do anything at the start. He was miles behind, but now he's caught up with a Lifestealer, and yeah, Vedusa just buys the Blink Dagger, so now Earthshaker has much more mobility, and that's exactly what he needed. But yeah, they really have to try and stop this Phantom Lancer. Phantom Lancer almost on equal farm with the Lone Druid, who we know was so far ahead at the beginning of the game. That means this Phantom Lancer is just caught up exceptionally well.
Well, he's got his Yasha now. He's going to be building up to a Manta style, and the second that comes, 11 illusions to deal with is a huge amount. They're going to have such a big problem trying to face against him, but we never know. 11 Phantom Lancers. Maybe Lifestealer is going to come up with something against it, because let's face it, he can only 1v1 them unless he builds up something like... He's actually built an Orchid Malevolence, so he's going for that silence. He's going to be going to get out Phantom Lancer, and the second he does, he's probably going to be able to use everything from his team. Let's not forget how well that goes with Tinker. Once he locates the real MNT, being able to use that on him, and then just waiting for MNT to nuke as much as possible along with the Lifestealer could spell MNT's fall.
Well, as soon as they know which one the actual MNT is, he's going to get Cypher Viced pretty much immediately. They're going to be killing the bear from Lone Druid, so that's actually pretty big. If they wanted to make a push, he's only got one bear available to him as opposed to two, and he's already popped it. So if they wanted to make a push now, it's probably time, but I don't think they do. I think they're just content in farming. MNT just farming up as much as possible, trying to get that Manta style. We'll have to see if that's the right choice. It's obviously a very good item on Phantom Lancer because it can really start off a chain of illusions and really build them up exceptionally quickly, and you don't have to rely on your Spirit Lance to get that initial illusion, where normally you would have to rely on either a lucky proc or the Spirit Lance to get that, especially against Lifestealer. You just can't rely on Spirit Lance whatsoever. So the Manta style, quite a nice pickup. We'll have to see if it works out.
I'm pretty sure it will. It'll be allow him to just completely farm, not only even more efficiently, which he is, but the strange thing here is IMBA choosing to leave it into the late game. They don't want to push it any further. They are a bit worried about just going straight for it, and you can't really blame them, but they have that Phantom Lancer, they have the Brewmaster, and they have Clinks. RR is doing an absolutely amazing job of getting back in there, really getting his farm back. And he's now got his BKB, so they've actually all smoked up. They're going to have to hope they don't count into that Lone Druid Bear, but let's see them try and go for it. It looks like they're going to be going for Tinker, who's actually ported away, so if they're just going to go for a smoking push to top, that'd be a little bit strange. They're looking to the jungle, it looks like now, to just find anyone, but they're going to be unsuccessful because Tinker, with those bits of travel, is just going to port away the second he's been alone for a tiny amount of time.
Well, looking at bottom, it looks like Infused are actually doing the same thing in the in IMBA's jungle. They're both scouting for each other, and they're not going to find each other. They're both gone. They're both looking for each other at exactly the same time. So kind of on the same wavelengths there, both IMBA and Infused. But yeah, this Lifestealer picking up an Orchid Malevolence, so he's really not playing a hard carry role whatsoever. They're just completely leaving that to the Lone Druid, who now has a gem. It has to be pointed out. He has a gem, so he is not going to be getting ganked. MNT might get caught out, actually, although Ninja Monkey decides to port away directly beside him. That was a bit odd. He walked around, saw him, and then immediately ported.
It's a little bit strange, but ultimately we have to think about this kind of thing that great minds do think I like, and now it's all going to start.
Alright, with
Ninja
double
Monkey
damage.
has been stunned. The Orchid Malevolence goes on Ninja Monkey, and with a double damage is taking away all of Lifestealer's health, but he does manage to get away. Then we have Brewmaster using his ultimate to try and get out Lelouch, and it looks like Lelouch is going to fall. No, he actually turns back around. He wants to get this Ninja Monkey. You cannot blame him, but and great armlet toggle. Infest and instantly getting out. Ninja Monkey now popping his rage. He's going to be able to take this Brewmaster ult head on, just using it for the extra health, and he's almost back up to 70% of his health. Venduza is not going to let that fall though. Ultimate doing so much damage. And then the Q coming in. We had Rubik just stealing that ultimate and using it again, but Clinks' prods managed to get it. MNT is going to be falling though from the entangling claws. And poor MNT does fall to the mixture of the Lone Druid and the help from the Tinker, being able to completely disable him.
Well, we saw then where it can go wrong for Brewmaster. He got caught out behind the tower, and he just didn't have any of his cooldowns off, and the Lone Druid just destroyed him. The Lifestealer as well. They both completely ripped him apart and destroyed all of his illusions, and actually killed him before he was back in normal form. So yeah, that was a really nice fight for Infused, but IMBA just didn't play that as well as they would have hoped to, because they really wanted to initiate with the Brewmaster ulti, but it ended up the Brewmaster ulti initiated. The rest of the team didn't know he had, and he just didn't follow him, and yeah, he ended up getting taken out before anything else had really happened.
Well, if we look at the experience in Gold Graphs now, we can see, strangely enough, so experience graph a little bit in favour of IMBA Battlenet, but the Gold Graph is, again, a tiny bit in favour of Infused. So this is really an even game. Both teams going against each other, and just it seems like one gets the advantage over the other. Let's not forget now that Rubik, with his level 2 ultimate, has that Fissure for about, what is that, 4 minutes, 5 minutes now? So that's 4 minutes. So he's going to have an absolutely lovely time being able to do exactly what they want Earthshaker for here.
Yeah, but it's getting to that stage in the game where the carries are really starting to take over. The lone druid and the lone druid's actually picked up a ghost scepter, so that's a very, very nice pickup. He's picked that up basically just to counter the Phantom Lancer, and it looks like they're going Roche. And IMBA don't know about it. Well, IMBA do know about it, but they're not going to get there in time. They're having to just hang around in the jungle, and it looks like another Roshan is going to be going easily for Infused. The lone druid's already dropped something to pick it up, and oh, Lifestealer actually gets it. That's a little bit weird. Tinker teleports in. Haste rune on the Shadow Demon. Are they going to try anything? No, it doesn't look like they are. It looks like they're just going to scout around the jungle. They're not going to find anybody. Everybody's gone, but they do get a free Roshan.
And absolutely, and a Roshan like that is going to be able to turn around the game. Maybe Ninja Monkey, actually, despite having an Orchid, is going to be going for a carry role. He just picked up that Orchid because it does give him some extra attack speed, some extra attack damage, and the mana regen, not really necessary for him, but he does use up quite a reasonable amount of mana, constantly using open wounds of rage.
Yeah, I really like this. I really like this Ghost Scepter to pick up. In goes the Brewmaster though, and pops his ulti, and Tinker's got caught out. Tinker was actually teleporting there, and Tinker got immediately killed. Lelouch looks like he might be the next one to fall, but look at the amount of damage that Lifestealer's doing to Brewmaster. They can't do anything to him. They cannot kill him. The Orchid gets popped. He's completely silenced. He does fall, but he does have the Aegis, so he will be coming back. Are they going to be able to kill him again? That's the question we have to ask. It doesn't look like they are. Ninja Monkey's going to be able to just walk away from this with support of Rubik. MNT has used his Doppelwalk a little bit early, actually, maybe to initiate. Lelouch is definitely going to die, but he sacrificed himself to save the Lifestealer, which is a really good shout. Although the Shadow Demon also dies as well. Two supports getting taken down in exchange for Ninja Monkey's life. It seems worth it from a standpoint of Oh, is that good? Nah, it just wasn't worth. I thought the Lifestealer may have got caught out there, but he hadn't. But the fight actually still goes on. Rubik actually stole Brewmaster's ulti, so he's used it against him. He's back again, and he's gonna die at last. I thought they'd actually killed him, but no, he stole the Brewmaster's ulti. Really nice play, but he didn't manage to do anything with it, and they did get away. Brewmaster got away on very little HP.
Well, I wasn't going to interrupt you in that kind of beautiful stream, but yeah, Rubik actually managed to survive. I wasn't quite sure where he'd gone because it looked like ages until the actual animation for the ulti kicked in, but there we go. He did a really good job of being able to manage to steal that and almost killed the Brewmaster, but the kind of disable that comes back, he didn't have quite long enough. Is in danger here. Surely, it looks like he's actually caught out RR, but no, he's got the invis. Despite being in his little scythe form, he has actually managed to escape, and he's picked up a Crystallis as well, so this Clinks is going to be doing huge amounts of damage.
Yeah, and on top of that BKB, which is very, very useful for Clinks. It obviously doesn't help against the Scythe, but still pretty useful. RR going up against Tinker, and Tinker just immediately scything and porting away. Didn't want to go up against RR 1v1. We all know who has the best of that matchup. The Clinks will just absolutely rip Tinker apart in a few hits. So nice play by the Tinker to be able to get away from that one. And Joker has his Scepter, so that's why it's lasting so long. His ultimate now. He's really been able to do a lot with it, and the Brewmaster pick is really helping IMBA battle against Infused, especially against this Lone Druid, because as we've seen time and time again, Lone Druid just cannot do anything through the Brewmaster ulti.
Absolutely, it's a complete disable of the Lone Druid. Such a hard counter, but Cody is really doing a nice job being able to pick up the Ghost Scepter. Ghost Scepter does stop Phantom Lancer from really touching him that much. You can use a Spirit Lance, but what's it really going to do? Because he can't produce any more illusions with it, any more illusions at all with it, and he just keeps farming and farming and farming. So IMBA is still going to have to shut down this Lone Druid a little bit more. He still has that gem. Such a great counter to stop RR from just getting in there and initiating the team fight with an Orchid. Yeah, Infused look like they have the ability to completely win this again still.
Yeah, this is a very, very long game and a very back and forward one. It's been close the entire time, and it's still really close. And we have to think whoever gets the advantage, whoever wins the next team fight, is really going to be able to take the game. You have to feel, or at least have a very, very, very good advantage and a very large advantage over the other ones. So the next team fights are going to be absolutely crucial for both teams.
Well, 45 minutes in is entirely a game where the carries are everything. The supports really fall back to being little more than disables and just providing extra mana and health for the carries, and it's all down to Lone Druid and Lifestealer with a little bit of help from Tinker. versus the Phantom Lancer. Sorry, versus the Phantom Lancer, the Clinks, and the Brewmaster.
Oh, look at Clinks, though. Clinks around in the jungle, actually spots the Rubik, and nearly three shots. He actually might get away. He's on 9 HP, and he does get away. They turn around. He actually might go for the for Coldy. Coldy's got caught out pretty heavily. He's got purged. He's gonna die. So they managed to take him out and pick up the gem. So, oh, that is the fight that IMBA really needed if they wanted to try and push and take a Rax.
Well, it does not look good for Infused now, we can't lie. They've got complete clear push now. Ninja Monkey not being able to do anything against this lineup without the Lone Druid, and Lone Druid being away for a full minute means they could quite easily take top Rax if they wanted to, and it looks like they're going to be doing just that.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to be going for it while their main carry is completely gone. All they have to do now is deal with a Life Stealer, and there's almost no damage coming out from Team Infused. So, Lone Druid did have buyback, and he buys back immediately, but are they going to keep going for it? It doesn't look like they are. They saw the buyback and they've just immediately backed off. They do not want to go in there.
Well, Phantom Lancer's actually picked up an Eagle Song, so it's really up to speculation as what it's getting here, but it could very well be getting a Butterfly to stop to avoid that entangling claws as much as he can, and to stop Lifestealer if Lifestealer becomes more of a threat.
Oh yeah, almost certainly he will be going for that. And look at the Phantom Lancer. Look at his illusions. This is madness. It's like all the time there's an illusion or two, and it's a little bit of an illusion war. But the illusions can just walk in and start dealing that much damage to the team. He's got a Heart of Tarrasque, so they're so survivable and they last so long. I'm not entirely sure how long the actual illusions last. I think it's about 8 seconds, so that's a very long time, and he's really generating an awful lot of them.
Well, the Juxtapose makes illusions last a lot longer at 20 seconds, whereas the ones he makes from Spirit Lance and things like that are really just initiator illusions, going for only 8 seconds long, and the double walk going for about the same time. But once he starts getting those illusions that do a lot more, he's just capable of starting to shut the team down a little bit. The team get really confused. They don't know exactly what they're facing against because every single one of them is so tanky. Phantom Lance really has to come back in, use a Manta Style once more and a Spirit Lance, and then doppel walk off, and he sets off another wave at them. Yeah,
and MNT could buy his Butterfly now if he wants to. He's just going to generate enough gold so that he can buy it and have buyback more than likely. So that's probably what he's going for. But he can just go and straight up buy a BKB now if he feels Butterfly. Sorry, if he feels like that's what he wants to do. There are the parts of his Butterfly. They are being sent to him, plus a TP scroll. So this Phantom Lancer is really farmed.
It's a little bit of a risk because he's 700 gold away from buyback now, but he shouldn't have that much struggle farming that up now. It's going to get a little bit more farm, but he's going to have to rely on at least getting one kill so that he can get buyback in the fight. Let's not forget he doesn't lose gold when he dies. He is all on his own, and all of Infused are coming to get him. The Scythe is gone. Is MNT going to be caught out open wounds?
It looks like he will.
Good God, he will. And look at all of the harass. They get down Phantom Lancer, and he doesn't have the buyback. 702 gold away from it. It's a real mistake, him going for the Butterfly that quickly.
And they might catch out RR as well. RR doesn't have the Ghost Walk quite yet, although he does pop the BKB, so he might be able to get away. There's the Skeleton Walk. He does walk away. Venduza with a little bit of a miss. Fisher actually traps Coldy on the wrong side. Brewmaster did pop his ulti, managed to do absolutely nothing with it. Is running away as much as possible with that bear. And yeah, Infused are going to be taking another tower, so that's a fight that Infused really needed to do. That Tinker initiation, making the completely nullifying the Phantom Lancer. Phantom Lancer is out for another 50 seconds, so they could really go for a Rax if they wanted to.
And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. Maybe Phantom Lancer in a state of desperation will start to see him sell something in order to get back, because he doesn't actually, he has his Butterfly set up now. He can't really sell anything that he has in order to get buyback. It's really foolish for them to go for that. And now RR is going to be caught out as well.
RR got caught out, and she does fall to the Lone Druid. I think that was the burn. But yeah, this Tinker is really doing it for them, being able to use that Scythe of Vice, blink in and Scythe before they can do absolutely anything. And the Illuminate's not going to really do much, and it looks like Infused will be taking the first Rax, and it's all down to them killing that Phantom Lancer pretty much. Joker blinks in, he doesn't have his ultimate, so Ninja Monkey is just going to spam him with the open wounds, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to catch him up now. They have to just back off.
Well, you really have to feel for him, but they had this game looking like they'd had it in the bag for a minute, but They just were so foolish to let Phantom Lancer pick up that butterfly without saving enough for buyback. He was only a tiny bit off, but if he'd just been a little bit more patient, he would have been able to get that money back and just survive.
Yeah, and then they would not have lost their racks. He does have the butterfly now though, so he is very, very well farmed. And if they dive him again, I don't know if it's gonna go the same way as it did last time. He really cannot be initiated on like that on again though. The Tinker really did do it. He has to be fast with those juxtaposers, although that's obviously easier said than done.
That is indeed, but look how quickly he gets those illusions. With that attack speed, we just see 4 almost instantaneously appear just by luck.
They've gone for Roche.
As well. They've gone for this third Roche now, so they will have cheese.
They will have the Aegis and the cheese if they want it. Lone Druid drops the Iron Branch, so he's picking up one of them. I don't know what it will be. He's probably going to pick up the cheese because Lifestealer seems to be the one that likes picking up the Aegis, and he does pick it up again. IMBA actually knew, but they knew too late. They're smoked up. They still haven't been seen, but Joker gets the Orchid popped on him. But look at that from the high ground. Clink's doing so much damage, saving the Brewmaster and letting him get the ulti, and they actually managed to take out the Aegis. He's coming back. Are they going to be able to get him again? I'd be very surprised if they manage to get him again. Rubik actually steals Fissure, so really nice play by Rubik to be able to steal the Fissure and lock down the team from the other side of the water. Lifestealer gets on top though, has a blink dagger, actually blinks on top. And it just looks like the fight is actually just going to completely die down. Although Tinker on the back manages to get the kill on the Earthshaker. Is he going to be able to get away? He pops the Ghost Scepter, so he is going to be able to get away. The Clinks can't do anything, but look at MNT versus Coldy. He's doing so much damage. He doesn't pop the Diffusal Blade on him, which is strange, but he does kill the Lifestealer. Surely, yes he does. He gets a triple kill. He's going for the Ultra kill now on Coldy. Is he going to get him? If he pops the Diffusal Blade, they're surely going to get him. There it is, and the Clinks completely silences him. He pops the cheese. Is it going to be enough? Coldy's still trying to get away. He's still purged. He will get away, but they do manage to waste the cheese. They get a 3-for-1, take out the Aegis and waste the cheese, and that's really exactly what IMBA needed to do as soon as they'd lost the Aegis to Infused and lost their racks.
That was a little bit heartbreaking there from a kind of heart-pounding action there from IMBA Battlenet and Infused. But really going for it. But it looks like IMBA Battlenet's MNT could have been caught out there. Just really nice play to having 4 staffed out so that he could get out of the entangling claws, which otherwise could have spelt the end for him.
And now he has a Chrysalis, so he has crits up on his illusions, and he actually sells it immediately, so that's not what he wanted to go for. He's got Boots of Travel. Okay, so he's actually got Boots of Travel instead of his Chrysalis, so now he can port to any part of the map and really start pushing exceptionally hard, and that's gonna help them an awful lot.
Indeed it is. Of course, now he is 500 gold away from buyback, so he's going to have to get that up very, very quickly. And IMBA cannot afford to lose Phantom Lancer once more. The same story for Clinks. Clinks is going to have to be a little bit more conservative. He's got Daedalus, and he's got another Demon Edge, so he may actually be going for a Skullbasher.
Probably
Does it work on melee?
Probably a Monkey King Bar, I would have thought. I'm not entirely sure. Well, just for the pure damage, probably picking up a Monkey King Bar on Clinks. That would make sense.
And it stops Tinker from actually using those lasers and stopping him doing any more damage, because he is so fast, and that Daedalus is going to mean that he can just nuke down Lone Druid and he can nuke down Lifestealer and really be a huge asset to the team.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what they're going to go for. He's going to be going for that, and that's a good choice. He'll have that up pretty soon, actually, you would have thought. Now he has his Demon Edge. Tinker just hanging around. He doesn't... Yeah, all of these are just illusions, and they know they're just illusions. But look at the amount of illusions that Phantom Lancer's just sending over. He's just sending over them all the time. And Lifestealer gets a Skullbasher, so that's going to be important as well. That's going to help them try and do a little bit more against Clinks and MNT.
Absolutely. Now IMBA just trying to kill off this bear. They really want to make a Lone Druid pop another one so that he loses this bear for 2 minutes straight, and now they do, so that's 2 minutes. Lone Druid will only have the one bear, so no kind of insurance in that kind of aspect. But they have, this is really a tense game. If we look at the experience graph, it's a tiny bit in favour, at about 3,000, 4,000 in favour of IMBA Battlenet. And if we look at the gold graph, it's very much equal, almost entirely at 0.
Yeah, it's about 200 in favour of IMBA, which shared over the team is about 40 gold each, which is absolutely nothing, especially for 55 minutes in. I don't think I've seen a game that's actually been this close before. I mean, both teams can easily win, although looking at this now, you have to say that Infused do have the better of this engagement if they want to go for it. Lifestealer doesn't have an Aegis. He blinks straight in. He's gone straight onto MNT, but he's immediately made illusions. And look how much damage he does to Lifestealer. He's almost killing him immediately. Is he going to be able to kill him? He's not. He's turning around. He's going to try and go on to someone else. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to do anything. The Keeper of the Light does get popped. But they're all just running away from MNT, and they're able to get away. The Ghost Scepters are getting popped all over the place, and MNT cannot do anything in the fights.
They've really found a way to effectively disable him, and now looks like MNT tried to cut out his Insects, but the Shiva's Guard was popped. He's slowed so effectively. Brewmaster trying his hardest to stop Brewbit from getting away. Surely they're not going to stop him. MNT actually being brought to really low health by the Lone Druid Spirit Bet there. Surely MNT isn't going to fall, is he? They get Ninja Monkey. MNT managing to pick up that, so he's got so much money. He has more than enough for buyback. They do manage to get him down.
But he immediately buys back. He's going to be using his Boots of Travel to go bottom and just continue to farm. But that was a fight that Infused really needed. They got the 4 for 1, and they just couldn't. IMBA just couldn't kill them. The MNT just could not get close enough. They were all popping Ghost Scepters and just walking away from him.
Well, he got his next recipe in Diffuser Blade now, so he's going to have another load of Purges. Not having those Purges in that fight really what did make it a bit of a nightmare for him. But Tinker's popped in now.
Oh, Tinker looked like Tinker looked like he'd walked straight into the Phantom Lancer, but Phantom Lancer backed off immediately. Didn't want to fight the Tinker. He does have all of his charges back with his Diffuser Blade, and does have a level 2 Diffuser Blade, so it's going to give him slightly more agility and slightly more mana burn.
Absolutely, we're just seeing M&T farming as much as he can, because obviously he has one more item slot that he can use. He really doesn't need an Aegis. He's going to need something to just counter these guys, and maybe a Skull Basher to an Abyssal Blade would be the best item that they could use, just to slow down Low Druid for a while. Even though that Spirit Bear is a great counter, with Brewmaster being able to disable the Spirit Bear, then Lone Druid directly being disabled and that Lifestealer directly being disabled is really what IMBA won.
Yeah, the net worth graph is very, very close to as we were saying, and the Phantom Lancer is very slightly ahead there, but only about 400 gold ahead of Tinker, and only about 1,000 ahead of the Lone Druid. He's actually bought something now, so what's he actually bought? He's bought a Crystallis now, so he's gone for the crits. He won't have money for buyback, but then again, he can't buy back for another 3.5 minutes anyway. The pings come out on him from the Lone Druid, so maybe they're looking to try and take him out, but he has double walked away, and there's no way they're going to be able to get him.
Well, Tinker also has an Ethereal Blade, so he has the option to completely stop Phantom Lancer from producing any illusions. For how long is that? About 4 seconds?
Yeah.
And 3 seconds, sorry. And then that will mean that Phantom Lancer will be completely stuck. Taking that extra magic damage with the Tinker around means that we could technically see Phantom Lancer drop.
Yeah, we could see him drop pretty easily now that they all have Ghost Scepters and Ethereal Blades, and they're all and actually the blink in from Lifestealer takes out Earthshake before anything else happens. In comes Tinker. We still don't see anything from MNT. He's trying to run down as quick as he can. He had the boots. Oh, he actually popped the boots of travel, but cancelled them because he would have got jumped on. But MNT is here now. Lifestealer pops a rage. And we've seen Lifestealer using that blink dagger so well, although Beastmaster straight into the middle. No, Brewmaster, sorry, pops the ultimate. He's going to take out Shadow Demon if he wants to take out Shadow Demon. He doesn't. He decides to go into the carries instead. Shadow Demon actually lives by the skin of his teeth. Can they even kill Ninja Monkey? I don't think they can. They can't even kill Coldy. MNT has had to back off. They've got nothing against him now.
And it looks like Infused are going to be winning this, because IMBA cannot do anything against them. Phantom Lancer being brought to such low health. They've lost the Clinks now. IMBA Joker being caught out. It looks like he's going to be falling. His no way is escaping. Look at the damage there from the Rage. The Tinker doing an extra bit. The Entangling Claws from the Lone Druid just being able to keep him down in check. And they're not finishing off the members of Infused. I don't know why, but they just Phantom Lancer could have used his illusion to kill Shadow Demon, but instantly redirects it to go back to the Lifestealer, and it's just strange of them.
They're trying to take out his Tinker, but there's no way he's going to be able to get the Tinker. The Tinker popped his Boots of Travel at the exact point he needed before he ran out of mana and manages to get back to base safely. So no one from Infused actually died then. And I think 4 Yeah, 4 from IMBA Battlenet did,
Radiant's
so
middle tower is
Infused
under attack.
starting to take the initiative in this game, and they really can't handle the Lifestealer blink in initiating. It's just absolutely crazy.
Well, Tinker now has a Dagon, so that's going to go so nicely with Ethereal Blade.
Oh.
He's got the extra little bit of a burst from Shiva's Guard, his laser, his heat-seeking missile, and his rearm. This is going to be ridiculous amounts of burst, and Phantom Lancer doesn't really have anything he can do against it. Does he have the BKB? No.
No, he can really lock down that Phantom Lancer for as long as the team needs with what he's got. He can Ethereal Blade, then rearm, and then Ethereal Blade, and Phantom Lancer's going to have a massive, massive problem against Tinker.
Tinker's going to be now doing about 1.5k at least in burst, so it's going to be able to take down Phantom Lancer to less than 50% health, and at that point, considering everyone else is going to be using their nukes as well, I really have to worry. What is IMBA going to do against this? They really look like they've been pinned down.
Yeah, they have been pinned down pretty severely actually recently. It's the Ghost Scepters that have really done it. MNT cannot do anything to any of the players on the team as soon as they all pop their Ghost Scepters, and they don't have an amazing amount of magical damage. They have Keeper, and that's about it. But that's absolutely nothing against the amount of force that Team Infused can bring out, especially with this Tinker.
And Roche is back up, so it looks like Infused will be going for that again. The 4th time, ridiculous amount of time in Roche to go in a tournament game. Zinx has just stayed up on the top, he's blinked in, he's probably going to be blinking around, just making sure that it's safe. IMBA have no idea. They've really been kind of taken out. Look at that, giant pink Roshan. A little bit entertaining, but actually Tinker's staying at the top just to make sure that they can pop that. But IMBA still have no idea.
I don't think IMBA know, but I don't think Infused want to risk it. They really can't afford to lose a Rax now that they're ahead. They don't want to do anything too foolish. They want to just try and finish this game off, but they don't want to give any sort of chance for IMBA to get back into it. The ping has come out from Roche. RR will probably go and scout it out, but he'll find no one in there.
Well, now IMBA are going for Roshan.
They've actually gone for it.
Straight into it, but Infused know they're there. This looks like it could be a very huge mistake. Are they still going to risk it? No, they're going to come back out. They surely wouldn't go for it, especially with Martin Machines turning up.
Well, they
Phantom
know where they
Lancer
are
sends
now.
an illusion in to try and waste everything, but they're not going to be fooled by that. All the illusions are building up a Ninja Monkey, and look how much damage they're doing. But the Spirit Bear is really doing a nice job of just counteracting them, and they've got Monkey King Bar, so the Butterfly is absolutely useless against that Spirit Bear.
Yeah, again, for IMBA, they have to rely on that really good initiation, or Infused are going to take the fights just on raw power. So they need a good initiation from the Brewmaster, and they all need to follow up with it in order to be able to do it. So I really wonder what MNT is going for. He's obviously going to be picking up his Daedalus, but after that, what else can he really get until he's reached his max potential?
Well, that bear completely disables MNT now. He's got full Mjolnir, a Sulcurous Radiance, and a Monkey King Bar. They instantly know when Phantom Lancer has an illusion Infused, they are going to take this Roshan. And are IMBA even going to do anything against it? No, they're not.
Roshan has fallen to the damage.
So Ninja Monkey picks up another Roshan and a double damage rune. So or maybe the bear, or maybe Coldy will be picking up this double damage rune. I'm not entirely sure. They might be saving it, but the Blink Dagger is there for Lifestealer, and yeah, it's just such an odd pick to get a Lifestealer with a Blink Dagger, but it's worked out so well, and now he has the Abyssal Blade, and it's really looking like Infused is starting to take a massive hold of this game just because of the amount of damage and the initiation that Lifestealer can bring.
Well, now he's got that Abyssal Blade, there is no hope really for MNT. He's just paused for a second, maybe he's trying to work out exactly what to do. But, my god, he's completely stuck. The crits aren't going to be enough. The Butterfly is completely cancelled by that Lone Druid, Monkey King Bomb. The Heart of Tarrasque is really useful, but it's not that useful against the Spirit Bears. Spirit Bear again, with Mjolnir, Radiance. The illusions can't handle it.
Yeah, and I
think stuck.
I think the thing that's going to help MNT the most is definitely this Manta Style. If he can pop it after the Ethereal Blade has been put on him, he can purge that Ethereal form and then start attacking again. But he won't be able to attack the Tinker, and then Tinker will just rearm and just do it straight back. So it's definitely going to be an uphill struggle for MNT to be able to do anything in these team fights now. You got to feel that maybe he'll even be looking, he'll be looking for maybe even like a Radiance or something, just so that he can actually affect the team fight while he's in ethereal form, because he's going to spend most of his time stuck in it.
Well, I can't imagine he can be thinking of that much that crazy. Probably the Crystallis has to go for him, or maybe even the Butterfly, considering it's been countered so much. That 35% evasion only really affects, now doesn't really apply to the Spirit Bear, where it's most essential. It's kind of a temporary solution to a very, very permanent problem. But Lone Druid again with another cheese. It's just, you have to wonder exactly what they're going to try and do against this. Infused look like they've won this first round, and at 64 minutes, maybe they're going to concede, because if every match is going to be like this, they're going to be exhausted.
They're going to be absolutely knackered by the end of this. Best of three. If all 3 games go this long, I know I'm going to be absolutely knackered. So that's. But I don't know what we're waiting for quite yet. They just need a second. I think MNT just needs a second. But yeah, Brewmaster has his Assault Cuirass, so that's going to help MNT a lot and give him a lot of attack speed. But they really, really do need something to help out this Phantom Lancer, because he's able to do the damage if he can get to them, but he just can't get to them, which is the problem.
No, they really, really can't, and it has to come down to IMBA initiating, but every single time, Lifesteal with a Blink Dagger, it works, and they've used the Ghost Scepters to completely shut down MNT to stop them from getting more farm. Lone Druid is absolutely insane. We're looking at the net worth. Phantom Lancer still in the lead by about 1,000, but it's really not that much behind Cody, and we're having Arbor and Lifestealer practically the same value, but Tinker so valuable to them. It was a really, really fantastic late pickup.
Yeah, he was, and he's really the thing that's kind of helping them actually get back into this game, because the ethereal form and the amount of damage he can actually do is rather important, and it's really, really helping them. It's going to be interesting to see what support items are brought up on IMBA's side now. The Infamous does have a 4-star, and we see Veduza, the Earthshaker, actually picking up a Ghost Scepter as well now, so he has the Ghost Scepter if he wants it. Whether he'll actually use it or not, I'm not entirely sure, but that's pretty much just against his Lifestealer, because he's been caught out by Lifestealer so many times.
Yeah, he really, really has. So they're going to have to just be a little bit more cautious, but they can't be a little bit more cautious. So you have to think if IMBA is stuck to this point, they may have to concede this first round and go on to the next one.
Well, I'd be very surprised if they concede. I mean, they could still win. We've seen it. One good fight can really turn it around, especially if you have a Phantom Lancer and his amazing pushing abilities. So conceding would be a little bit rash, but they're definitely on the ropes, and Infused are really looking exceptionally strong. But yeah, in that mid game, it really did look like IMBA was starting to take a massive lead, but Infused have just pulled it back pretty massively, especially with this Lifestealer. Getting an Orchid into a Blink Dagger is something I've never seen before.
Well, no, we thought he was going to not really take up that carry role, but indeed he has. He's just going a bit of more of a semi-carry role, letting Lone Druid do most of the damage, but coming in, and he's so effective, constantly having an Aegis. It's his 4th one now. Almost seems a little bit addicted to them, and he's just able to get so much farm again that he comes back into the game and is practically at the same value.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable how much farm he's managed to get. Especially seeing that he had absolutely nothing at the beginning. They've played him more like a support or an initiator than they have anything else. But he's so survivable with his rage. And then we've seen him armlet toggle very well and use the infest to the best of its abilities. And he's really. They're all playing exceptionally well. There's no doubt about it. But Infused do look like they have a slight edge right now as they dive at the top. Maybe no, they just walk up and then back straight off.
Well, MNT is going to be really, really worried now, and that may affect his play, because every single time he's a little bit far forwards, they just do something to him which could make him think, bugger, I'm caught. And this is the thing, the Spirit Bear is now so tanky. Look at them popping everything that's in it. The Lifestealer can do whatever he wants. They're now turning on this bear. They might actually take him out. Does Lone Druid have another one? Yes, he does, so it's not that much of a worry for him. The Lifestealer has such low health, he's been mana leaked, but it's not going to stop him. Oh my goodness gracious, Ninja Monkey is actually still right in the middle of there. Phantom Lancer manages to pick off the Rubik, that's fantastic, but Brewmaster has been taken out, Phantom Lancer has been taken out, Clinks has been taken out, Phantom Lancer buys straight back into the game, but is it going to be enough? I don't think it is, especially not without that Brewmaster and that Clinks. It looks like Infused are going to be taking this bottom back. Ninja Monkey on such low health, but he has that Aegis. Vendu's already managing to use the Aegis, and by no means was it a waste. Earthshaker now loses his life. It's only really Phantom Lancer left, keeping the late falls too, so it really is just down to MNT. MNT can't do this by himself. He's got a Daedalus, but that's not going to be enough, and it looks like it's going to be all over. One entangling claws from the Spirit Bear will do it, but no, he goes straight back in. MNT never giving up. He wants to do it, but Mjolnir just counters those illusions so heavily. Infamous ball back in to try and help MNT as much as he could. They're not going to be able to stop this though.
No, it does look like Infused are going to be going for their second racks, and we see Zinxis teleporting in and immediately going in and comboing off and killing with that combo, just immediately killing the Keeper of the Light, and there's nothing MNT could do about it. He was completely stuck to the Tinker. Tinker could teleport away if he wants to, but now, oh, he can, and it looks like he's going to be able to get away. Yes, only just. The amount of crits that we saw popping up weren't enough to save the to get the kill, sorry, from the Phantom Lancer, and another Rax goes down. They haven't quite taken all the Racks. They're still the ranged barracks, but it's not on a lot of HP, and they could quite easily backdoor that if they wanted to, but not looking good for IMBA now.
It really isn't. Should have even, not entirely sure what it's saying there, but
doesn't look like he's saying anything. It's fine.
MNT, you have to wonder. Look at all the crits popping about everywhere. It looks a bit crazy, but he can't really do that much with this kind of build. He's going to have to earn enough money to sell off the Butterfly and buy something of more use to him.
Well, I think before he sells that Butterfly, he'd much rather sell maybe a Manta Style. I mean, the Manta Style does give him the illusions, but the amount of agility, damage, and attack speed that Butterfly gives him is really helping him actually do it. I don't think he's going to buy anything else, though. I think he's reached his peak, and from now on, he's basically just going to be getting enough money to buy back and waiting until he can buy back before hopefully engaging in another fight.
70 minutes in, this is the longest game we've actually ever had in this tournament, and the showcase match, it has seemed very appropriate, but it seems like we're going to be casting to you until midnight because these teams are so balanced.
Yeah, but look in mid. Look back in mid. It looks like Vendu's actually blinked in, tried to catch him out, but they'd all backed off by that time. Tinker just popping those rockets and doing pretty much nothing now. Tinker's only really useful now for his Sheepstick and his Ethereal Blade, but he can really do it. He kills the Keeper of the Light with his combo just straight out, and Tinker buys the next level of his Dagon, so he's up to Dagon 4 now.
Well, he can buy Dagon 5 absolutely whenever he wants. He's just being so conservative, saving constantly all the money he needs, really. More than he could ever need for buyback, just in case he loses a whole lot of gold in death, he supposes. Or maybe he's waiting for it all to become reliable.
Yeah, it does look like they might be starting something in mid. They've been hanging around mid for an awfully long time and nothing's come of it. Zinxis is hiding in the trees. Joker does go in. Nothing actually comes of that, and both teams just kind of walk away, and both teams don't want to engage because both teams don't want to lose the fight, and both teams can.
Yeah, they really can. It just depends on who initiates first, but you need a perfect initiation, and neither of them are going to risk not having that.
Yeah, it's almost certainly going to be Tinker that blinks in first. And actually, the Shadow Demon gets caught out by the Brewmaster. No, by the Earthshaker, sorry. Earthshaker's been silenced, but he popped that Ghost Scepter, and in goes the Brewmaster with his ultimate. MNT right in the middle. Can't actually do anything. The Force Staff pushes him back in. But he pops the Doppelwalk and manages to walk away. He's actually dusted, so that would have done absolutely nothing. But he didn't know that. On the back of it, there are going to be a few teleports. It's Rubik. Is Rubik going to get away? The Brewmaster really wants to kill the Rubik, actually. Actually forsaking attacking Cody in order to try and get him. We actually see MNT coming straight back in on full HP. He's going to take out this Rubik really easily. RR gets the double kill. Now they're going to turn on to Coldy. Are they going to get Coldy? The Purge is there, and the mana leak. He's got no mana whatsoever. MNT with one Spirit Lance will surely get the kill. They actually decide not to.
Well, he has got cheese, and let's not forget that. He's just popped it now. It's going to take another purge to be able to take him down. He's used his Ghost Scepter. That's got a big old cooldown, and it's more than enough for MNT to just completely go on this, but he's losing so much health. If the Spirit Bear tangles him, there's the Entangling Claws, but he's going to take down Cody, surely. No! The Tinker actually saves him. Cody on 70 health. That's insane.
This
And that
Tinker
must
is
have just
playing so well.
broken.
Yeah, it really has. Look in the base. The creeps are actually attacking the Ancient. If Tinker wants to blink in, which he has now, he's going to now start comboing off and just killing all the heroes on IMBA Battlenet's side. He's going to kill the Zerfshaker pretty easily. MNT actually buys back, so Tinker looks like he's going to die. He is going to die. Maybe a little bit too aggressive from Tinker, but he can just buy straight back. But look at the amount of push that Infused have got on both these out lanes. And they've already taken all of the middle towers now, so it's basically just the Ancient. No, not the middle towers, sorry. All of the structures inside the base, so it's basically just the Ancient and the mid tower
I don't know
left.
about you, but I'm about to auto-disconnect in 20 seconds, so... A little bit worried.
That's odd, I can still hear you. So
there we go.
Did it fix itself?
There we
Okay,
go, sorry, it's just...
Okay.
Yeah.
It must have been a
Little bit
DelotA
worried,
bug. We
I've
could
never
hear
seen
you
that
the
before.
entire time, so it's okay.
Yeah, everything is fine now. It's just been a little bit laggy. Sorry about that, guys. It may be why I've sounded a little bit so unnatural, because every so often it just jutters and I'm a bit wondering what is going on here, but... Infused. My god, in staying in such a close game, we look at the XP graphs and net worth now. It's still really, really even. Gold is at about 6,000 now in favour of Infused, but that's still no game-changing amount by any stretch of the imagination and experience, and only plus 2,000. Both teams have their fair share of level 25 heroes. IMBA Battlenet only really have level 25 Phantom Lancer, but level 25 Tinker, Lone Druid and Lifestealer from Infused really show that they've been in this game for so long. In 72 minutes, you think they couldn't really drag it out, but they can't finish it. Now the team is strong enough to just completely white out the other.
Yeah, the fight's going for so long. They're actually completely smoked up in the Battlenet, so they're looking for a good initiation. If they can get a good initiation, they can quite easily pick off a few kills and then push a Rax. They're gonna walk through the forest. So the Clinks has gone the complete other way. Venduza is gonna get seen. Who's he gonna get seen by? The Lifestealer. Lifestealer doesn't blink in to get him, and Venduza actually blinks out of it. And there we see Phantom Lancer just sending illusions going through top as well as going through middle. So, a massive fight actually might break out. IMBA are actually just going to initiate. MNT is going to be the first one in. He immediately pops the Manta. They're trying to take out Ninja Monkey, and look at the amount of damage MNT does. He kills him almost instantly with Clinks. On the back, the Brewmaster's popped his ultimate. He's going to be killing the Tinker. No, he's not. He's not going to go onto him. Is he? Yes, actually, he is going to kill the Tinker in the end of that with help from the Phantom Lancer, who actually ends up getting the kill. So Tinker is completely out. Tinker can actually buy back if he needs to. We do see the buyback come from the Lifestealer, so he's back in the fight. MNT actually gets another kill. Now he's on Cody. Is he going to get Cody? Yes, he is. Does Cody have buyback? No, he doesn't. So if they want to push, they can. Cody's actually bought back. That's why he didn't have any more for buyback. So all the buybacks coming out from Team Infused, but really, really nice fight by IMBA actually managing to waste all those, and they're going to keep going.
Well, now that Infused have lost that thing for 70 seconds, that's the biggest disable on MNT. That Ethereal Blade means that they can actually get this. Looks like IMBA may be turning this completely around. 60 seconds without Tinker could very easily spur the end, because they're so heavily reliant on that Ethereal Blade and the nuke to just help take down Phantom Lancer. They're going to try and fortify, but it's not going to be enough. The Lush actually disabling.
But the Ancient's being attacked. The Ancient's being attacked at the bottom for IMBA, so this is going to be a race. Who's going to get there first? It looks like IMBA actually have the amount of damage they need if they're going to take it out. It doesn't look like Infused are going to do it. It looks like IMBA are going to take the first game. IMBA win. The GGs come out. Really nice play by both teams. But IMBA Battlenet take the first game against Team Infused.
37-7, 75 minutes, bloody in, and both of them all of 300 HP away.
Oh, what a game! We're gonna have to immediately say we'll be right back in about 5 minutes. Come and check us out, but we have to go immediately and set up the next game. So we'll see you there.
Do. Sorry, 1 second.